How's it going, ScrubGamers? Welcome back to another deck profile from me, ScrubGames, and this time we're going over a new fun deck that I've been enjoying after seeing the reveals from set 13, which is Pilaf. So if you don't know, if you didn't remember, Pilaf was one of the red leaders that came out set 10, and didn't really do much. Like, it was decent or alright in the shop championship events where you had it was a certain format where you can only use cards from the set 10, like in the starter deck stuff. So you can only use the stuff in the starter decks that are exclusives, promos that are only during the set for Unison, Warriors, block, and cards for set 10. And he was alright as an aggro deck because you can drop out the Mayan stuff, but outside that, you didn't really see. I don't think he saw play. I think there might be one top with Pilaf, but that's it. He hasn't done much else because there's better red decks and stuff. But since we got the reveals for the set 15, I've been testing an idea to see if it works. It's been working quite well. It's been working quite fun as well, and it's pretty powerful when it goes off. So I'm gonna go over this. First of all, I do want to shout out to DBS Deck Planet, one of the newer kind of like deck building sites. Really good interface. Love it. Like, it's my primary one now for deck building and when covering deck profiles like this. So go ahead and check it out. Link will be down in the description. Also, if you want to get involved in the some of my deck ideas and join my community, feel free to hit up the Discord or check out my Facebook page down below in the description. They'll also be down there as well. And also, lastly, feel free to give me a subscribe if you want to start, because that's a way you can get updated with my videos and deck profiles like this. Give the video a like if you enjoy it after watching it. And lastly, leave a comment down below if there's anything you want to see from me, if there's anything I went wrong or anything I didn't cover in the video, or even if there's anything I got wrong or you didn't understand from the video. Leave a comment down below and I'll answer it as best I can. So getting on with the deck profile, we have the leader Pilaf. So on this front side, it's just auto when it attacks, you draw one. And nice thing is when it attacks, not like the old ones where we said attack a leader. So it's just draw on the front side, but it has awaken. It has an alternative way to awaken rather than just going down to 4 life, which is when your life is at 4 or less, or you have 3 or more battle cards in play, you can switch up to 2 on your energy to active mode, flip this card over. Now, untapping 2 is quite good for what the deck plans to achieve in a single turn, and also it's nice to be able to awaken at any point as long as you've got 3 battle cards in play, and that's quite easy to do as well. And then when you do awaken, it goes to its backside, which has the same auto when its card is extra 1, but it also has activate main, which is once per turn. You can choose 3 you choose 3 of your battle cards, place them in the drop area, and then you choose one of your red unison cards that gives triple attack for the turn. So it's more of this deck's more of a focus around the unisons than like a boss monster, which is nice, because one good thing about the unisons is they're essentially counterproof in a way. Like they have, like they're almost like battle cards that have barrier and deflect, because there's not many unisons that interact with there's not many counterplays or cards that interact with unisons. We've got more cards that interact with unisons, but not too many, like not a wide variety. And in this build, we play 3 different unisons. So the first one we play is the Shenron, which is the first part of the strategy. It's a 2 specified cost, red, 20k power, 1 back from the expansion set 14. So after set 11 we had the 2 expansions, one that was focused on supporting archetypes from set 10, and one that focused on supporting archetypes from set 11. And this one was one to help support Pilaf and Yamcha, I believe. At least one of them, because it works for both of them quite easily. So it's got a permanent of can't attack, like every card, every Shenron card that is just for Shenron, they can't attack. So as I'll be busted having a 20k unison that then can attack as well. Then it's got a +1 skill and a -3 marker skill. So the first one, that can be used with everything, is activate main, draw one card, then choose one card from your hand and place it at the bottom of your deck. Choose up to one red Earthling only battle card with energy cost of 2 in your hand and play it. So in the deck we've got 2 targets for this, and they're there to gain advantage and help protect the Unison, because you want to protect this so when you do get to the point where you can activate its ever marker skill, you can do it freely. And then also the good thing about that is drawing one and putting one to the bottom of the deck means you can cycle through your deck to try and find what you're trying to look for. And the -3 effect is for 3 red and activate main. If your leader card is if it is a red Earthling only card, so our leader is, and all your energy is mono red, which it will be because we don't play any dual colours, choose up to 1 red Unison with a specified cost of 4 in your hand and play it with markers on. We'll play it with 2 markers on it. So we've got 2 targets for this. So this is the main thing you want to try and if you may want to see this so you can free play out your 2 drops to help gain more advantage, more draw, to help draw for your deck to find the 4 drops, 4 cost Unisons, and then this gives you a way to bring them out easier. Now, why does it have 2 markers on? There's ways in the deck to give them more markers, so we'll get into that in a bit. But so the first one of the Unisons, the main Unison play, like the key strategy for the deck, is the new set 13 secret rare Unison for red, Ss4 Bardock, Interdimensional Warrior. So this has got ultimate, dual attack, and blocker. So it's a Unison of choice, and unfortunately, being a Unison is an issue where you can't really gain markers by putting other copies under it because it's a secret rare, has your ultimate, so you can only include 1 in your deck. But luckily there is ways to try and search this, and we'll get into that in a bit. It's got 3 skills, it's got 1 auto, and it's got 2 marker skills, a +1 and a -4. So for the first auto, it's when this card is played, choose all your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and they get -25k power for the turn. Now apart from Dark Broly, that is going to basically be a board wipe. And going through barrier means it's hitting everything. And the good thing as well is by reducing power, it even gets around getting rid of things that have indestructible, because their power goes down and they get removed by game mechanic if they hit 0. And then also it's 25k power, so that's a quite strong Unison. So your opponent trying to take it down is going to be quite difficult, and you have to combo quite a few cards into it to get rid of it. And then on some marker skills, the first +1 is an auto. So this trigger is when your opponent attacks with a battle card, you may choose it, and it gets -25 power for the turn. So it means you only gain marker skills in your opponent's turn when they attack with a battle card, but you're able to get, minus something down by 25k, and you can get round things that even have 40k apart from barrier by combining this with Wolfang Fist as well, which we'll get to in a bit, because this being a Unison allows you to play the Wolfang Fist for free. So having that removal is nice, and when you board wipe your opponent, if they do play any battle cards on the next turn after you drop this, if they do survive after dropping this, then they're going to have a hard time trying to get around that first effect unless it's got barrier. And there's -4, which is the main way you're going to try and win the game with this deck. Is -4, activate main. This card gets +15,000 power and triple strength for the turn. And at the end of the turn, switch this card to active mode. Now this is really strong, and as you might have recognised already, in combination with the leader, you can technically get 4 swings at this leader, because and have all 4 swings 40k and triple strike, which means you could do a potential 12 damage in a turn with this. Now being 40k's means your opponent's going to be comboing a lot into it, and getting 4 swings of it is going to be very, very easy and very, very strong, and very, very hard to deal with. And if you don't know what I mean by having 4 swings, it's because with dual attack you can swing with the first attack and it restands after that, and then you can use the leader's effect to sack off 3 battle cards to give it triple strike, which means it can then attack 3 more times after that. So if you give it triple attack before swinging the first time, it triple attack overrides dual attack, meaning it only gets 3 swings. But if you use the activate main first, then swing once, it restands, then give it triple attack, and it's got another 3 swings. That's very powerful, and this deck has an easy way of upping the markers on the Unison, and in a way that it can't be stopped as well, which is good. And the other 4 cost unison we have, just in case you can't see the secret rare, like it's stuck in your life or you're having trouble digging for it, is Vegeta Unison of Might, which is the theme one of the first unisons we got back in set 10. It's got 3 marker skills, all very powerful, and it's a 20k as well. First one is activate main, draw 1 card, then choose up to 1, and also for a +1 as well. Choose up to 1 mono red battle card with entry cost of 2 or less in your hand and play it. That's as good. You've got the same 2 targets that Shenron had, plus ever targets because it says up of 2 or less, unlike Shenron, which is 2 cost. This is a good skill, but it's not the one you're going to be mainly using. The main one you're mainly using is the -2. When you if you do drop this instead of the secret rare, which is an activate main until the end of your opponent's next turn. If your opponent would play a battle card using a skill, it's placed in their owner's drop area instead. So this is a really good skill because a lot of decks nowadays they play things by skills. Not many strong cards are played using the by hardcasting anymore. A lot of cards are now played using skill. So if you do this, if your opponent goes overwhelmed, go take the drop. Opponent counterplays with like a counterplay freezer, go take the drop. Your opponent tries any way possible to play a card without hardcasting it. It gets straight to the drop. And as I said, once again, there's a way to keep giving markers of it, so you can do -2, protect this as well, and then do keep doing every turn -2 to drop to prevent your opponent from having free playing cards. And then it's also got the -5 activate main of if your opponent doesn't have any battle cards in play, you deal 1 damage to your opponent. Now this is a good way, this is something you can pull off if you get your opponent under 1 and you want the board, or they combo off, get rid of it, they lose the board somehow. You can have this as a way to finish the game by just tapping 5, playing this, and then boom, last damage. So that's all the units we play. We don't play I've been thinking about maybe playing an extra Vegito, but they can clog in your hand, which isn't helpful. And there's ways to try and search for these from the top 5, which we'll go over in a bit. So with the 2 targets we have for the Shenron, we have 4 the Yamcha Lawless. This has got an auto of if your leader card is a red Earthling, which your leader is, at the end of the turn you draw 1 card. So it's a way to get draw power after dropping it. With the Shenron, it means the longer it stays on board, beat a 15k as well to put some pressure down. The longer it survives, the more cards you're drawing. And if you get multiple out, you're drawing multiple at the end of your turn. Then it's got a useful effect of is activate battle. Once per turn, by paying 2 red, this card gains double 15k power and double strike for the battle. So it's a helpful way to deal unisons as well. And the other target we have is Oolong the Miniface. There aren't many 2 cost mono red 2 cost red Earthlings. So this is the second one that is actually helpful in the deck. It's a blocker, 10k power. And when this card is KO'd, draw 1 card, then choose up to 1 of your red unison cards, and it gets plus 5,000 power for the turn. So this is one handy way to help protect the Shenron if your opponent tries to go into it to stop you from keep you off free markers, and also if your opponent tries to put loads of attack in your secret rare if they survive and stuff to protect it, because it not only blocks 1 attack, it replaces itself by drawing a card, then gives the unison extra 5,000 power for the turn and make it even harder to kill. And all the unisons are 20k plus in the deck. So that's the main 2 ones you want to get. You mainly want to try and main thing you want to do is mulligan for the Shenron's SCR, and because that's the one that's hard to search and the one you really want turn 2. And maybe mulligan to keep one of these 2, because either way they're both going to draw you a card, because you're going to block an attack with Oolong to help stop an attack and draw 1, and even Yamcha's going to draw 1. Then some helpful cards, some other ones that you can also bring out from the Vegeta. First one we got is my Piccolo's Underling. So this is handy because it's got barrier, it's a 1-drop, and there's also a cantrip, so when you play it, you draw a card, so it replaces itself in your hand, and also gives you a battle card that has barrier to make it easier to keep free on board to help you awaken whenever you want. And then also, as you know, I really hate blue, so it has the helpful blue hate with his ever auto once per turn when your opponent switches energy to active mode using a counter skill. place up to 1 card in your opponent's life and 1 card in your opponent's energy in the drop area. And then the other 1-drop you use for a searcher is Pilaf Plotting World Domination. So it's got the effect of when this card is played, you look at up to 5 cards on top of your deck, and that's a 1 red unison card with a specified cost of 4, or 1 red earthling card with a specified cost with an energy cost of 4 or less among them, and shuffle your deck. So it's really good because from the top 5 you can search for the secret rare or the Vegito unison, or you got the option of getting one of these 2-drops, and never copy itself and or you've got the option as well for Yamcha. Now I am tempted to change the super combo in this deck, because sometimes you can awaken at higher than 4 life, which makes the super combo less useful. But this super combo is really handy because of it. It's able to filter for your deck and also draw, basically to draw more and see more for your deck. And of course, because we're playing it as a unison strategy, we've got 4 of the Yamcha Merciless Barrage, the counterplay for red. So the counterplay skill is, you can permanent just basically says if you have 2 or more markers on your unison, you can play it for free. Which all your unisons are going to have at least 2 markers or more, because the Shenron goes straight to free, and it's hard to take markers off being 20k. Your opponent's got to invest cards to it unless they can drop big bodies. But Yamcha's effect is a counterplay. You can't activate counterplay skills on other cards for the turn, which is fine. You don't mind using 1 per turn. And this is the only counterplay. You choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards and they get minus 15,000 power for the turn. Then play this card. Now the important thing to remember about this card is that the card's to target. This doesn't affect the card your opponent's playing. If you play it in counter window 1, it only affects cards that are on the board. So if your opponent goes to play a card and you counterplay this in counter window 1, or say if your opponent hardcasts a card. If your opponent hardcasts a card, you only get 1 counter window. But if a card is played by an effect, you have 2 counter windows. And playing this card in counter window 1, unless your opponent has cards you want to target on the board already, is not useful. But so you mainly want to play this in counter window 2, because then in counterplay window 2, the card they just played is then on the board for you to target with this. So you can play this, the counter window 2, target the card they just played, and something else to minus it by 15. So just remember, when you're using this, focus on counter window 2 to play it, unless they're hardcasting a card or they've already got 2 targets you want on the board removed. The next key part of the strategy is Barlock Strategic Mind. So this is a free cost 20k Barlock PR. It's got free specified red, which is fine because we only charge red, and it's got deflect, meaning that your opponent's not going to stop it from coming down. And this is the way we add markers easier to our unison. Because of its effect is, if your leader is mono red, when this card is played, choose up to 1 of your red unison cards and add 3 markers to it. So you play this for free to give yourself a body to potentially use for the leader's activate main to give your unison triple attack, and it adds 3 markers to your unison, which is huge. Because if you use the -4 on the secret rare, because you got to go up to 5 for it, you go down to 1. Then you can play this after, put it back at the 4 markers, so you can use it again next turn, because you use the +1 in your opponent's turn with the swing of the battle card, and also make it so it's easy as 5, because the unison the secret rare is a blocker as well, and we restand afterwards, so it's helpful to block to defend your lead. We play 4 of this because it's not searchable in the deck, because we don't play any searches for Saiyans, red Saiyans, and basically just if you see more of this, the longer it goes on, because you can easily defend in this deck quite well. And more turns, the more you see of this every turn, you can drop them, give you some markers, and just keep making it so it's harder for you. And especially for the Vegeta one as well, giving this 3 markers and minusing 2 for its -2 is really handy to just keep allowing you to have the effect to stop your opponent from free playing cards by effects, and also so your opponent's forced to just hardcast stuff if they want to play stuff, and keep it with enough markers on to survive longer. Then being a unison strategy as well, we also have King Piccolo New Ruler. This is double strike with a permanent. If your leader card is red, this card gains 5,000 power, and your opponent can't activate blocker skills in response to this card's attack. So this is a good way to get around like a deck that has loads of blockers. Also gives you extra double strike pressure, and you can always free play this as well using activate main, because if your unison is red with 3 markers on, which is going to be a minimum for each of your unisons, because as soon as you play Shenron, it goes up to 3 because you're going to +1, and the other ones, they go 4 markers when you play it, unless you play off the unison, off the Shenron. And you can play it for free, but then you can play copies of this card for the turn, and at the end of your opponent's turn it goes to the warp. But you can get around that by using it for leaders. If you drop it, you can use it as one of the ways to get free battle cards for your leaders of activate main to give you unison and triple attack. So more things you can put on the board, and then not have to worry about them going in the turn, because you can sack them off after playing for free to power up unison. Then we have 4 Topo. This is for extra defense if we need it. Like sometimes you might have aggro decks help to defend against. So it is a 2 cost on your opponent's turn because it's permanent. And on it, then it puts in the auto as long as it gets played. Where for the rest of the turn, if your opponent wants to attack, they have to drop 2 cards from their hand. And you have to drop 1 card from to play it as well, while tapping 2. But it's fine. It's a good press decay to help sort of against aggro. As we said, round at super combo, you could potentially change this for Nappa, so that way you can easily have an easier time of putting battle cards on the board for your leader to awaken at any life by putting 3 battle cards down. And also then you've got a super combo that you use, get a 10k boost, 10k combo power, and then can use for a leader's activate main as well. But at the moment I'm liking this one because it allows me to put cards back in the deck to dig for the secret rare or dig for things. And just give me more combo power to defend with. And then the last battle card we have is Ss4 Bardock fighting against Fate. Fate is just a 6 cost overrun for 25k. 25k is important because it's that sweet spot of if your opponent combos out, they can't just combo out with a super combo to combo out of an attack for free without losing anything. Even if they use a super combo, they've got a then combo never card off, and if they use 2 super combos of this, they're over comboing. They're over comboing on their leader because most leaders are 15k on their awakened, and they've used super combos against this one attack, and this card's got dual attack, so it can attack twice. And once again, just like with Piccolo, you can drop this, and then after it's swung twice, force your opponent from 4 to 3, so you can then sack it off as one of the cards for the leader's effect to give your unison triple attack. Because that's the main thing you want to do, is push your opponent down from 4 to 3 life, so your unison can finish a job with 4 triple strike 40k swings to finish him off. Then for the last cards we play in the deck is the extra cards, Wolfang Fist. It's a great card because where your strategy falls around unison, and your aim is to get down turn 2 a unison, have a unison on board every turn after that all the time. This is normally always going to be live and has that nice thing of be able to free play if you have a red unison board, and the fact that it goes what it does is choose up to one of your attacking battle cards, your opponent's attacking battle cards or leader cards, ignoring Baron, it gets minus 25 and 15k power for the battle. This is really good for if your opponent swings with any battle card 15k or less, it's instantly dead, the battle's over, no combo phase, no combo step. And with the leaders, with the secret rares effect as well, the minus on battle card by 25k, you can hit anything that's up to 40k, as long as it hasn't got barrier, for free, and just help your and also because it affects leaders as well, it helps you defend your unison a lot easier. And you can play for free is handy because you want to use your energy for like your 1-drops and unison and stuff as well, or you might want to leave some energy open for Topo as well. And the last card I play is 4 Violent Rays, because this is one of the best cards in red at the moment, being able to help defend against fend off cards, because you can either, this is one of the best cards, the fact that it helps you fend off against big aggro of 20k's or higher, and for a whole turn, you can just basically, because what it does is if your leader card is red and get the attack, then you may choose 1 card in your hand, discard it, and if you do, you choose either one of the options, either your opponent's battle cards with 20k power or more can't attack for the turn, or your opponent's can't attack with unisons with 25,000 power or more for the turn. So this is a card that helps defend, but also if you're against red, it shuts off your main strategy because it shuts down your unison to be able to attack 4 times in a turn. But it's just really handy for 1 energy to help you defend against big swings, like a lot of heavy swings. But that's the deck. I haven't got them out with the side deck yet because I'm still testing it, but I'm enjoying this list, and this list is what I'm comfortable with at the moment. The only thing I could consider changing is the Raditz for a different super combo, but I'm not sure what I would go for yet because I do like the Bulma, because all that requires is the life total to be 8, which you can normally get quite easily if you're aggroing your opponent down and they're attacking your leader. You can get down to 8 life total, and then that allows you to free play Pilaf or Mai when you combo Edge in your turn, and which then gets you a draw. On when you combo offensively, you get the draw from the super combo. Playing these to have to get the draw off Mai, or the search for Pilaf to help free play out this without using energy to search for him again, or Nappa, as I said, to help get that 10k combo, not worrying about what combo power it is, and then have a battle card on board to help you either awaken or use your leader's awakened activate main to get boost up your unison to give it an extra free attack, basic triple strike for the turn. But with the deck, what you want to mainly do is turn 1, use the energy to either play a Mai to give yourself that barrier battle card and draw 1, or Pilaf to help try and search again for one of the 2 unisons, or one of your 5 different Earthlings. Turn 2, you want to play the Shenron to +1 to put either Yamcha down or Oolong, depending on which. If you feel like you need to defend the Shenron, Oolong if you just feel like you need to draw Yamcha to help just get your draw. Then turn 3, you want to just either keep dropping these more 1-drops down to help you search, or leave the energy up for your defense, and then drop another one of these 2-drops with the Shenron. And then turn 4 is where you mainly want to do your big turn, and you want to save your awakening for a turn 4 as well, because then you can use what you can do is use your Shenron's effect -3 to pay that 3 red, play down your secret rare with 2 markers on it, which costs 3 energy, so you got 1 energy open. And then you use the leader's effect on awaken. Hopefully you've got 3 battle cards on board, or you're at 4 to untap those 2 energy. Then spend your last 3 energy to play a Bardock down to uncontended, because it's got deflect, can't be stopped, to give you secret rare of 3 markers on, put it to 5. And now you can use the leader's at -4 effect, minus it down by 4 markers to make it a 40k triple striker. Swing once to put pressure on, untap, then use leader's effect to sack off your other ones, because what you want to mainly do is what you can use before that, before using leader's effect, to swing with the ones you're going to sack off. Like, say if you drop the Barlock, Piccolo, and secret rare, and the overall, and you can swing with all them to put first to force your opponent down to 3 life, then sack them off because the Piccolo and overall were free, and the Barlock put some pressure in to then give your unison another 3 swings, and then you've got another 3 triple strike 40k swings to put pressure on your opponent, either forcing out their negates or draining their hand of combo power to help them survive. And if they do survive that, you've always got Wolfang Fist, live from turn 2, as long as you drop the Shenron, to help you defend. You've got Violent Raise to help, you've got Topo as well to help you defend. So you've got plenty of defense and plenty of aggression. So what I recommend trying the mulligan for is the Ultimate Shenron, and at least really all you need is 3. Like, if you see the secret rare, you keep all of that, obviously, because then you're guaranteed to have that ready. But you may want to try and get your starting hand off with Shenron, a 2-drop to play after Shenron turn 2, and a 1-drop to play with turn 1, because after turn 3 it depends on what your hand is, to see what you want to play, and also how the game's going to see if you want to defend. But you mainly want a 1-drop for turn 1, a Shenron for turn 2, and then a 2-drop to play after Shenron turn 2 as well. And just remember, the leader always draws a card as well every turn, as long as you get the sack, so you get a draw from your leader as well, and you get a lot of deck filling through these as well. That's it for the deck. Thank you for watching. Give it a try if you enjoy it. It is fun. I've been testing it. It's been extremely fun to play. Maybe not really competitive, but fun nonetheless. So thank you for watching. Feel free to once again subscribe, like, or comment, and I'll see you in the next video coming up tomorrow. Bye for now.